From a young boy with a love for computers to the co-founder of one of the world's most valuable companies, Bill Gates is a name that defines the modern age of technology. But how did this self-proclaimed computer nerd rise from a privileged childhood to become one of the wealthiest individuals in history? Bill Gates was born William Henry Gates III on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington. Raised in an affluent family, Gates had the privilege of a strong education and an environment that fostered ambition. His father, William H. Gates Sr., was a prominent lawyer, and his mother, Mary Maxwell Gates, was a businesswoman who served on the board of multiple organizations. Even as a young child, Gates was a curious and gifted student. He loved reading and was especially interested in math and science. But it was his fascination with computers that would ultimately change his life. At the age of 13, Gates wrote his first computer program, a tic-tac-toe game for a teletype machine. And this was just the beginning. In 1975, at just 19 years old, Bill Gates and his childhood friend Paul Allen saw an opportunity that would change the world. They came across an article in Popular Electronics about a new computer called the Altair 8800. The two saw potential in this new technology and decided to create software for it. With no real funding, they called the company Microsoft, a combination of microcomputer and software. Despite initial struggles and skepticism from investors, their vision was clear. Personal computers would eventually change the way the world worked. Gates and Allen's gamble paid off when they successfully created a version of the basic programming language for the Altair. However, it was a partnership with IBM that would catapult Microsoft into global recognition. In 1980, IBM came to Microsoft for an operating system for their new personal computer, the IBM PC. At the time, Gates didn't have an operating system of his own, but he quickly struck a deal with IBM. Instead of selling IBM a one-time software license, Gates worked out a deal where Microsoft retained the rights to sell the operating system, which they called MS-DOS, to other manufacturers. This was a game-changer for Gates and set Microsoft on its path to becoming a global powerhouse. As IBM's computers took off, so did Microsoft. MS-DOS became the industry standard, and Microsoft grew rapidly. But Gates wasn't satisfied with just creating software. He wanted to dominate the entire personal computing ecosystem. In 1985, Microsoft launched Windows, a graphical user interface that allowed users to interact with their computers more intuitively. The release of Windows 95 in 1995 was a turning point, and Microsoft was now the undisputed leader in the software industry. Bill Gates had built an empire, and his wealth exploded. By the time Bill Gates was in his early 40s, he had become one of the richest men in the world. In 1995, Microsoft's market capitalization surpassed $100 billion, and Gates was personally worth over $12 billion. For years, Gates held the title of the richest person in the world. But with great wealth came great responsibility. Gates was now not only the CEO of a tech giant, but he was also becoming a prominent public figure. He began making headlines not just for his business successes, but also for his personal life and his vision for the future of technology. In the late 1990s, however, Microsoft faced legal challenges. The company was hit with an antitrust lawsuit by the US government, accusing Microsoft of monopolistic practices, especially in its bundling of Internet Explorer with Windows. The case would drag on for years, with Gates personally taking the stand in court. Despite the legal battles, Gates remained focused on innovation. By the early 2000s, he had stepped down as CEO of Microsoft and handed over the reins to Steve Ballmer, shifting his focus to his philanthropic efforts. With his fortune, Gates turned his attention to solving global challenges. In 2000, he and his wife, Melinda, founded the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has become one of the largest charitable organizations in the world. The foundation focuses on issues like global health, poverty alleviation, and education. Through the foundation, Gates has donated billions of dollars to combat diseases like malaria, polio, and HIV, as well as improving education and providing access to clean water in underprivileged regions. He's pledged to give away the majority of his fortune over his lifetime. Today, Bill Gates is no longer the CEO of Microsoft, but his impact on the world is undeniable. His company's products have shaped the way we live, work, and communicate. Meanwhile, his philanthropic endeavors continue to change lives and address some of the world's most pressing issues. While his wealth may have shifted to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, his influence continues to grow. Gates is a symbol of what happens when ambition, intelligence, and the desire to improve the world collide. From a young computer enthusiast in Seattle to one of the world's wealthiest and most influential philanthropists, Bill Gates' story is one of innovation, vision, and giving back. His legacy will undoubtedly continue to shape the world for generations to come. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories of history's most influential figures.